Intermediate Lions head coach Martin Tungun Pile has named a squad of 33 players to roar during the Chan Total competition. Who are they? CRTV profiles the 3 goalkeepers plus the 8 defenders in this edition. Security steps up around neighborhoods with host Chan structures with multiple raids in crime-prone areas to deter brigands who may want to carry out activities during the competition. Plus, former government delegate to the Yaoundé City Council, Jiben Timievuna, takes oath at the Yaoundé Court of Appeal as pioneer president of the Central Regional Council with a call to discharge his duties with integrity. And those are top stories. Hello viewers, thanks for joining us on this edition of the 7:30 News with me, Gladys Tata.
I have personally observed that most of our fellow citizens no longer comply with the protective measures prescribed by the government.
Less than 72 hours to the official kickoff of the Chan competition, players and officials of Cameroon Intermediate Lions are upbeat and ready to live up to expectations during the tournament. Head coach Martin Tungun Pile has published a list of 33 players ahead of the competition. In the first of our series to discover the faces of the squad, tonight we take a look at the 3 goalkeepers and 8 defenders retained by the head coach. Baldwin Sama tells us more.
On him lie hopes of Cameroon's goalpost during the African Nations Championship. 22-year-old goalkeeper Dende Jr. of PATYCHOU will be instrumental for Team Cameroon during this competition. He formerly played for Seaway Sports in Côte d'Ivoire and won the 2016 Cup of Cameroon with PATYCHOU.
For us, it's a privilege to host the competition, and I think as from now, we're being concentrated. We're being concentrated and more concentrated in view of the competition.
27-year-old keeper Hashu Kerido of PWD of Bamenda is one of the 3 goalkeepers retained. Twice he has been called up with the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon, and thrice he has been crowned best goalkeeper of the Football Championship, winning 1 Cup of Cameroon with Unisport of Bafang shortly before his international stint in Guinea-Conakry.
Our main ambition is to win the competition, given that it is being played at home, so we must keep the trophy at home.
The other goalkeeper retained is Epane Litizi of Stade Rennais of Melong. Among the defenders is Salomon Banga of Coton Sport of Garoua. The 25-year-old was part of the last African Nations Championship in 2018 in Morocco.
I have to show the Cameroonian public what I'm capable of doing.
Pierre Etame Ngombe is one of Cameroon's key defenders. The 26-year-old defender won the 2017 championship with Eding Sports before winning the 2018 Cup of Cameroon. Etame Ngombe has once been called up with Indomitable Lions of Cameroon.
We have to give in our best and try to win the competition because we are hosting.
26-year-old Serge Andolo will be in his 2nd African Nations Championship after Morocco 2018. He was 2017 champions of Cameroon with Coton Sport of Garoua and equally won the Cup of Cameroon with New Stars of Douala. The other 5 defenders are Carl Junion Dedi, Gabriel Fils-Penda, Mburi Bazul, Kone Steve and Mamoudou Hassana.
The management of the Cameroon Civil Aviation Authority ADC has confirmed all is set at the Yaoundé Simalene International Airport to manage aircrafts, passengers and luggages. They add that all has been put in place to limit the spread of the coronavirus in Cameroon as Cameroon receives visitors from the Chan Total 2020. Transport boss Jean-Ernest Masenangale Bibehe was at the airport this Wednesday to inspect the different installations, as you tell us, Ewana Epole in the following report.
Yaoundé Simalene International Airport, the 2nd busiest and largest public airport in Cameroon, was the 2nd stopover of the Minister of Transport, Jean-Ernest Ngale Bibehe. in continuation of his working visit to inspect the different installations at the airports as Cameroon received visitors for the Chan Total competition.
The Chan passengers they have their own unique corridor, and even their luggages will be treated particularly. We recruited new hostesses. We enhanced their capacities in terms of welcoming, taking into account the languages, the cultures of most of those countries. Even for the fight against this COVID pandemic, we have got new materials.
The minister was guided by the Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority, ADC, Toma Owona Asumu, while visiting the different security and passport control posts, arrival and departure lodges of passengers, and the customs checkpoints, as well as the renovated thermal plant to ensure constant electricity supply in and out of the Nsimale Airport.
Measures have equally been taken to give the delegations that will be hosted in selected hotels in Yaoundé special treats. Hotel authorities have reinforced security, taking hygienic precautions with regards to room cleanliness and quality of food. CRTV's Beatrice Ngom visited 4 hotels today that will lodge delegations in Yaoundé and reports that their services meet CAF COCAN standards. Beatrice?
Standing tall on the Febe Hill is this beautiful infrastructure, the Mont Febe Hotel. In this facility, the Lions of Cameroon and Eagles of Mali are lodged. Hotel authorities have taken measures to ensure the safety of the teams and their comfort.
Hydraulic gel that has been set in each room. 1 player, 1 bed. In case they want to relax, they have swimming pool, tennis court, they have billiards. Those players need energetic food. We have prepared for those things. In terms of security, the number of cameras has been increased.
In Yaoundé, 4 hotels, Mont Febe, Hilton Hotel, Hotel La Falaise and Jega Palace will host COCAN teams and delegations. 4 hotels whose security systems have been beefed up, their staff briefed on the task ahead and clad in new attires, rooms disinfected on a daily basis and internet services upgraded.
We have the program called Clean Stay, which will improve the cleanliness in the public areas and in the rooms for during our guest stay.
Quality services in hotels that have enticed some delegations already.
We were well received by the hotel staff. We have checked in and the reception was good. The rooms are clean. We are well lodged. We are satisfied.
A scout of these hotels, and the picture is even clearer. All is set for a COVID-free Chan.
Security forces are multiplying police raids around the country, particularly in towns and neighborhoods, to host the 2021 Chan that begins next Saturday. Kilian Dandifon witnessed the combing and cleaning of the crime-prone Eligejua neighborhood in Yaoundé of brigands likely to perturb security during the championship. He brought back this report for the 7:30 News.
The mobilization of the security forces ahead of the Chan 2021 is total, with special measures.
Securization of the capital and its immediate environment, and we have also the mission to secure all the sites related to this competition. Among those sites, we have the hotel, we have the training facilities, we have the main stadium, the accreditation center, as well as the fan zone. We are working with the other force. We are burning the candle at both ends to make sure that we'll play our partition during this competition.
The candle burning at both ends touched the Eligejua and some neighborhoods in Yaoundé Wednesday with a mixed police raid.
It's a kind of a dangerous area in which we had to carry on this operation. The first one is to make sure the area is secure. As you said, it's an area in which the Omnisports Stadium is. And the second point is to ensure the population that they will have a nice and a kind African Nation Championship.
The unannounced security belt was put in place at 2 a.m. with the commanders of the 1st Military Region and of the 1st Gendarmerie Regions personally supervising the operations.
Over in the littoral region, 100 choreographers, animations and dancers have begun thrilling the different major streets of Douala 3 days to official kickoff of the African Nations Championship. Organizers say the objective is to awaken the inhabitants in the economic capital and instill a sense of belonging. Renee Kache reports from CRTV Littoral, Douala.
They're made up of choreographers and dancers drafted from the 4 divisions of the littoral region. They are ambassadors of the Shan tournament, and their mission is to whip up patriotic sentiments amongst Douala inhabitants before and during the Shan competition. Under the umbrella of the Regional Delegation of Arts and Culture for the Littoral, the young Cameroonians who are drawn from all walks of life have been animating the major streets of Douala with their exciting beats and dance steps. All this to the admiration of onlookers. It is thanks to their thrills and dedicated passion that this commercial bike rider has caught the Shan fever. From Dokoti passing through the busy university streets of Ange Raphael, Rompwende Do to Akwa and then Bonanja, the atmosphere is lit with excitement. Their routing coincided with the arrival of Team Rwanda, who are lodging at the Hotel Aqua Palace in Douala.
The Shan Total 2020 is on in the southwest region with volunteer conscripts who are expected to be of assistance during the competition have signed their engagement letters at the Boya Omnisport Stadium to officially enroll them into their task. Meantime, tickets for the tournament are available, as you tell us, Guy Roginana in Boya.
They are 300 in number, these young people who have engaged themselves in serving the nation voluntarily during the Shan 2021. They have received guidelines on what is expected of them.
I feel so excited to sell my country to other people who don't know about Cameroon.
We are under the accommodation team. We are all happy to be here.
We'll be sent to the various areas of
As regards the sales of tickets into matches that will be played in Boya, those in charge have confirmed their availability.
With the COVID situation, we have just 25% of our main the stadium to be occupied.
Meanwhile, sales agents on the ground affirm that their sales are increasing by the day and are quite positive.
I've been selling these tickets since morning and a lot of people are enjoying it. I put the pictures of the tickets on my WhatsApp profile and a lot of people are already contacting me that how can they get.
As to the Chan 2021 kickoff, the southwest region as a whole is awake and waiting.
The Yaoundé Military Hospital is amongst the 4 chosen to be in charge of health coverage during the Chan. To be fit for the task, the hospital has acquired state-of-the-art equipment for its imaging center described as second to none in Central Africa. In the following report, Beatrice Losamba tells us just how handy this will be if ultrasound needs arise.
The military hospital in Yaoundé, one of 4 selected for the African Nations Championship, will be brought into the game in case patients need an ultrasound or radiology. The imaging center of the hospital has been staffed and equipped for this task.
We have a radiology equipment to diagnose bone injury, if any. We also have an ultrasound machine to detect muscular injuries and a highly modern IRM Siemens for scanning skull injuries. Few of such machines exist in imaging centers of the sub-region.
The staff is at work to see that the machines are in good operating condition and checked periodically for proper maintenance. Medical teams rehearse on a regular basis the proper techniques for the use of the equipment, making sure they will be available and quickly accessible for the sporting event.
And on to something else now. The pioneer president of the Regional Council for the Center, Jibenti Mevuna, has been sworn in with integrity, international unity prescribed as guiding principles. This was during a solemn ceremony today at the Yaoundé Court of Appeal, chaired by the president, Mrs. Ngoti Mekulu. Ebenezer Akanga was also present at that solemn court session, and here's his report.
With this oath taken,
Gilbert Chimevuna has assumed office as president of the Regional Council for the Center. He took the oath at a solemn court session of the Center Regional Court of Appeal, presided over by the president of the court, Mrs. Ngoti Mekulu Kunegong. In his submissions, the Procureur General of the court told Gilbert Chimevuna that, far from being a mere formality, an oath taken is an engagement to serve, and if he fails in engagements taken, he can be dismissed. While administering the oath, the president of the Center Regional Court of Appeal prescribed integrity and unity as guiding principles for the president of the Regional Council for the Center.
I have to gain consciousness and take the full measure of what has to be done. I think I am well grounded.
Gilbert Chimevuna is 77 years old and father of 4.
The foundation stone for a befitting South Regional Elekam head office has been laid in Bolova today by the Director General of Elections, Dr. Eric Esuse. It was also occasion for the Director General to visit some fixed registration centers of Bolova 1 and 2. Constantine Bomb accompanied Dr. Esuse to Bolova and came back with the following report.
This is the site where a befitting Elekam South Regional Headquarters is being constructed. Workers are on the site working on the foundation of a 3-floor structure to host the building. This visit of the Director General of Elections is to lay the foundation stone of the building while making sure that what the engineers presented on paper is being respected.
The human resources are the main resource in the development, so we want to give them the full condition of doing their job. We want only to continue to develop our structure.
It was an opportunity for him to visit some Elekam branches of Eboloa 1 and 2 to get first-hand information on how the registration exercise is unfolding. In a working session, Dr. Eric Esuse appreciated the job done in the past elections from 2018 to 2020, calling on them not to relent their efforts in maintaining Elekam's credibility. A courtesy visit was paid to the Chief Administrator of the region, Governor Felix Ngelengele, as well as to the city mayor of Eboloa.
I urge you once again to put on your face masks, to wash your hands regularly, and to consult a physician or any other health personnel if you notice any symptoms. This is the only way to save lives and to curb the spread of the virus.
With the systematic screening of players and officials during the African Nations Championship, the worry now is to know how those tested positive will be taken care of throughout the tournament. For more explanation, let's hook up with Baldwin Sama at the Public Health Emergencies Operations Center with his guest, Dr. Fabrice Abana, with updates. Hello, Baldwin. Good evening.
Good evening to you, Gladys Tata. What is certain is that there will be persons who will be tested positive for COVID-19 during the African Nations Championship, be they players or officials or for the different teams that will be taking part in this competition. How will these persons be taken care of when tested positive for COVID-19? We discussed that with our guest tonight, Dr. Fabrice Abana. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening to you.
Explain to us, those who will be tested positive for COVID-19 during the African Nations Championship, how will they be taken care of?
Okay, thank you for the floor given to us. You have to first of all precise that the treatment in Cameroon is free of charge. And any player or member of staff that is tested positive will be taken free of charge. Secondly, all positive cases will be only treated at approved centers.
And which are these centers?
Those centers are in Yaoundé. We have the Orca centers. In Limbe, Boyako, we have the regional hospital in Limbe and the regional hospital in Boya. Then for the littoral zone, especially Douala, we have the La Quintini hospital.
Any other special modalities for those who be tested positive?
No, the modality, we say that everything is free of charge. That means when somebody is tested positive, the confinement will be done in approved centers.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fabrice Abana, for giving us all those details as concerns some of the modalities put in place to take care of all those who will be tested positive for COVID-19, especially those from foreign delegations throughout the African Nations Championship. Back to you, Gladys Tete.
Right, Baldwin Sama. And this communique from the Ministry of Communication, and it reads, the government of the Republic hereby informs the national and international opinion that a few hours to the opening of the Total Shan 2021 African Nations Championship Total Shan 2021, scheduled from January 16 to February 7, 2021, arrangements have been made on the instructions of the head of state for the success of this great jamboree of African football on all the selected sites, Yaoundé, Douala and Limbe. From a sporting point of view and on the basis of the specifications agreed with the Confederation of African Football CAF, Cameroon has carried out a vast program of construction and rehabilitation of its sports infrastructure. All the stadiums that will host the matches and training sessions of the participating teams are to date ready for the event. These facilities, with state-of-the-art equipment which has been appreciated by the most informed observers and particularly by the officials of the African Football Umbrella Organization, are considered to be among the best in Africa, if not in the world. The hotel and road infrastructures, including access roads to the various sites, are already as well. In the area of health, and due to the restrictions imposed by the need to comply with barrier measures to curb the COVID-19 pandemic, fan zones and other villages in the Chan have been set up to accommodate many fans who will not be able to access the stadiums. These areas will also be subject to strict compliance with the health protocol for the fight against COVID-19. And in respect, the government of the Republic wishes to recall the need for all to strictly respect the barrier measures prescribed to face the persisting threat of the coronavirus pandemic. As far as communication is concerned, arrangements have been made to facilitate the live broadcasting of all meetings and for optimal coverage of the event by the accredited national and international media. With regard to security, the government of the Republic wishes to assure the Cameroonian people as well as the various delegations that are here to take part in the Total Chan 2021, that the many football fans as well as the media, that special measures have been taken by the security forces to ensure the security of all the sites hosting the events, participants round the clock. The government reaffirms that Cameroon is ready for the kickoff of Total Chan 2021 and that no stone will be left unturned in concert with CAF for the hitch-free organization of this great celebration of African football on Cameroonian soil. Cameroonians are therefore invited to give the warmest hospitality to all our visitors. The government counts on the usual civic-mindedness, enthusiasm, discipline and sense of responsibility of the Cameroonian people, whose legendary hospitality is sacred to none, to make Total Chan 2021 a resounding success, on one that is commensurate to the immense efforts made by the entire nation under the high impetus of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Paul Biya. And this communique has been signed by the Minister of Communication and Government spokesperson, Rene Emmanuel Sadi. Finance boss Louis Paul Motaze has encouraged staff of the South Regional Treasury to increase their output on the field in spite of the challenging economic context. He was speaking after a visit to the structure and other services of his ministry. Bernice Atabong tells us more in Ebolova.
Minister Louis Paul Motaze's visit to some public finance structures in Abolova permitted him to see the working conditions of personnel and get first-hand information on their difficulties, as well as motivate them for the upcoming challenges. Be it at the Customs South 1 sector, the Finance Control Department, and the South Regional Treasury, the challenges are common. In a working session with public finance personnel of the South, the Regional Finance Controller, Tassi, outlined some of the problems of public finance personnel in the region. These include limited equipment and the need for the construction and rehabilitation of some buildings. The Minister of Finance during his visit appreciated the output of the personnel.
The second service of the customs of this region installed in Kribi can reach more than 10 billions per month. more than 10 billion. This is a very good performance. The balance sheet is positive. They have problems as in many other areas of the country, but what they are doing is quite well.
Minister Louis-Paul Motaze has also instructed personnel on efficient ways of improving their output in view of ameliorating the economy of the country.
Cameroonian transporters stuck along the border between Cameroon and the Central African Republic are calling on authorities of Yaoundé and Bangui to intensify efforts for their safe return home. For their part, members of the Land Freight Transport Office say they are collaborating with the drivers to ensure that their basic needs are met until then. Clarice Are-Takang reports.
3 weeks blocked at the border between Yaoundé and Bangui and in Garabulai. More than 1,000 trucks on both sides and drivers in their hundreds. Crisis in the Central African Republic has driven transport activities along the Douala-Bangui corridor to a standstill.
We have run out of resources. Some are sick and we have people to take care of. There are many difficulties.
The main challenge is to ensure that the stretch is safe for travel for peoples and goods.
We are working with the drivers but equally with trade union groups like that of professional transporters. It is a huge one and everybody is doing what they can. Measures have been taken to guarantee the safe return of Cameroonians. We gave moral and financial aid.
From 205,369 tons in 2019, traffic along the Douala-Bangui corridor has dropped to 122,791 tons in 2020, a situation many are hoping will soon be resolved without putting lives at risk.
An initiative to regulate cocoa production activities through sustainable forest exploitation has been signed. The partnership between the Ministries of Agriculture, Trade and other stakeholders has as goal cocoa production without deforestation. Prince Wayne Mukwele Aduma reports.
The forest and cocoa plantations fighting over space and time in a country that targets an annual production of 640,000 metric tons of cocoa in a few years' time. The Interministerial Committee, represented by Agriculture, Trade and partners, signed a joint framework to hit the mark.
The protection and the restoration of the forest, sustainable protection and marketing, and the third pillar is the community involvement and social inclusion.
The roadmap to deforestation-free cocoa is the required platform to foster sustainability.
For example, if you want to get into the forest to plant cocoa trees, we have a mind of concern of not pulling down trees because there are specifications on which distance you have to cover.
Cameroon, fourth world cocoa producer, therefore holds on to this government initiative to stay on top in both quality and quantity of cocoa.
Cameroon has expressed gratitude to China has expressed gratitude to Cameroon for assistance given to its nationals fleeing the tense security situation in the Central African Republic. The Chinese ambassador was at the Ministry of External Relations today for an audience with Minister Mbela. Charles Ebune has more on these and other stories today at the Ministry of External Relations.
A few days ago, President Paul Biya dispatched to the East Region Territorial Administration Minister Paul Atanganji for a double mission: ensure the safety of at least 150 Chinese nationals fleeing insecurity in the Central African Republic and hand to them the best needed humanitarian assistance for survival in the country. We are very grateful, and this is very important. The unperturbed security alliance between Cameroon and the United Kingdom also came under review as the Regional International Liaison Officer of the British National Crime Agency came to renew the strengthened cooperation between Cameroon and the United Kingdom.
Identifying and trying to tackle and challenge the threat from organised crime from West Africa
I'm currently based in Nigeria with responsibility for Cameroon.
And just a few days to the start of the African Nations Championship, one of the stadia to be used for the competition in Japo-Maduala has been constructed with the expertise of the Turkish.
Overlooked at our bilateral cooperation in many fields, private sector and technical cooperation, education.
Today's audiences at the Ministry of External Relations were the first in a series ever since the new year started.
Well, that's where we draw the curtains tonight. But coming up tomorrow, we will be having a bilingual newscast at 7:30 p.m. And at 8:30 p.m., there will be a special program on the Chan. So beginning at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, stay tuned to Chan Show. And good night from all of us on the 7:30 crew.
Despite our efforts, COVID-19 plunged many families into mourning and seriously hampered the functioning of our economy and society.
The weather forecast with MTN.
It's Wednesday. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Zimbabwean delegation for the Chan 2021 as we expect calm weather across the national territory with a minimum of 14-15 degrees in the west region, 22 in the center and even in the north region of the country, 21 in the far north region, 17-18 in the east, 23 in the southwest region and even part of the south region. The littoral region will expect a maximum of 24 degrees. Let's get details now in the Adamo region where no showers are expected with a minimum of 18 degrees and the same weather condition to prevail in the morning with a minimum of 13 degrees. Next, let's go to the northwest region where no showers are expected in the whole region with a minimum of 15 degrees and in the morning a drop of 13 degrees Celsius. Let's end now with the east region where no showers are expected, a minimum of 22 degrees and even in the morning a Bongbang will be cloudy partially with a minimum of 23 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to visit the Lobe waterfalls. Have a good evening. Goodbye.